version 40 has been pretty nice to a number of heroes. Feng Mao wasn't really changed all that much. His dash forward was changed as flat out bonus damage and it can't crit, but shields were indirectly buffed, and anywhere from 8 to 30% increased effectiveness. How does that change Feng Mao then with his shield ability? In this deck again guide, we're taking a look at how he can perform a fantastic frontline hero. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a hero building guide. I am Sylphin. So we're going to take a look at Feng Mao, this Shugoki deck that I have called for him. It's the reference to For Honor, the Japanese class that was kind of their like heavy duty frontline tank. So of course this is the tank deck for him with a Centurion as a prime card for that health. What you want to get is your Demi-Warden for this, and a Sage's Sylphin if you are in the jungle. I would really like to take him in the offlane because he does very well against a lot of duo comps, especially somebody like Revenant, who is very prevalent. If you are in the off lane, you have a health potion and a healer token. There is another healer token here as an option if you don't have 3 CP to come back to get another card or something. I would still, though, get the healer token as it will really help. And there's another health potion just for as an option. You then get your ward here, as in the Guardian's ward. You then can get a Madstone gem, and you can get a Thunder Cleaver. This obviously really helps with his pushing power to kind of push back your off lane and to kind of really put pressure on the map to kind of draw the enemies away and keep them in that safe lane. After this Thunder Cleaver, you go into your final endgame build. You go for a lot of health here on the Elder Mage Amulet. It's very powerful in the early and mid game. It beats out health, or beats out armor at its own game. So this Elder Mage Amulet, very strong. After this, you go into the Tempered Plate. You have the Satori Cloak as an option. You have the Power Cord or the Purity Sensor as options. You have the Power Cord or Purity Sensor. Purity Sensor is unfortunately not that common of a support card, so you can provide that for your team as a heavy-duty heavy-duty frontliner that can bring some team utility as well with the Purity Sensor. If you don't necessarily need it, no Aurora, no Phase, you can go for the Power Cord. Why the Power Cord? Well, yes, his Hamstring does a great AoE effect that can apply this Blight via the Thick Blood. Power Cord, though, you're going to always be having it on whoever you're attacking. So if you can force, you can either protect your team by peeling for your friendly team and just kind of having that effect on whoever you are trying to peel for. Or if you're in the back line, you can just be having that blight on whoever you're attacking, helping your team to take them down. So I think I like that better, just as an option. The Power Cord or Purity Sensor, and then you go into the Thermobond, simply because stuns are very prevalent, and any health that you'll get back will be very effective, as it will be both affected by your guard and your barrier. So very effective. Final build here, Thermobond, Purity Sensor, or Power Cord. You pick one. You get your Satori Cloak, get your Tempered Plate, Guardian's Ward, and this Elder Mage Amulet. Now, I would probably take Feng Mao in the offlane a lot of the time. There's just really fantastic junglers at the moment. So when you put in your Demi-Ward, I put it right here, in order to kind of see people kind of walking through here. Or you can do it more defensively, right on the stairs here, to kind of see anybody coming from there, or see anybody there going in on your mid laner. Now you start off at the white camp, either here or here, depending on how aggressive the duo that you're going up against. Here on the Grim and Phase, I thought I could get away with both camps, and that's exactly what I did. You start off with your E ability, which is your Hamstring. what your Hamstring is he whirl your blade in a circle around you, slowing and dealing ability damage to enemies within range. Something you have to pay attention with this is that you can use it to animation cancel. You do your very slow basic attack, and then you animation cancel right after that. Provides him with great burst, and that's something you really need to pay attention with when you are using your Hamstring. Now, it does 75 to 210 ability damage. It's okay. Definitely a good part of his burst. Mana cost is okay. It also applies a movement speed slow of 160 to 325. It's quite significant. It only lasts for 2 seconds, though. The power scaling, 0.4. If you build a lot of power with Feng Mao, it definitely really helps this ability. It is very crucial for trying to peel for your allies to slow down enemies, or, of course, just, you know, slowing down your enemies as you are fighting against them. The next ability that you get, or the first one, depending on, you know, how aggressive the duo is and who you're coming up against, is the Conversion Shield. This, you generate basically a shield around you that blocks a set amount of incoming damage. Because of version 40, armor is now applied on it. So armor now affects any shields that you're given. This shield is amazing on Feng Mao, and it makes him, it really performs his role and what he's all about. The shield is 125 here at level 1, all the way up to 425. Lasts for 2.5 seconds, so an okay amount of time. You still have to be very cautious of when you use it and absorb incoming damage. It's not just kind of a blanket shield that you rely on for a long period of time. The mana cost is quite low, so you can really use it here in the early game to great effect. And the cooldown's 12 seconds, so it's okay. Definitely you can use it a fair amount, but it's so powerful here in the early game. You upgrade it once, even twice, and you can absorb Revenant Obliterates. You can absorb a lot of offlane pressure that other heroes just can't do. So Feng Mao is a fantastic hero to use against Revenant. Revenant's early game pressure, kaput. Absolutely done, and he makes a very strong counter to Revenant here in the early game. Really kind of just hamstrings the enemy team for the rest of the game. Oh, that was a good one. Oh, that was a good one. Now the third ability, or the second ability that you should get a lot of the time. Here I steal the gold buff. Definitely something you should do. And as Feng Mao, you do have quite the opportunity to do that because of his Q ability, his Reaping Dash. So it's kind of complicated. What happens is you throw out an image of yourself, and upon colliding with an enemy hero or reaching the max distance, he will teleport to that image. It is important to note that the image travels through the space in front of you. So if there is an Aurora Hoarfrost on the ground, your image will get stuck in that. It will get stuck in a Decker cage. It gets stuck. You physically move through the space. It's not a teleport through stuff. It's to a location. You actually move through it. Just keep that in mind, because that will mean that your feet will clip on edges. It will do funny things. Just be aware. Now, the image will deal ability damage to all minions it passes through and any heroes it collides with. The next basic attack that you deal within 4 seconds deals increased damage. That is 40 to 160 ability damage, and it has 0.2 power scaling, not very much, but it cannot crit. So the extra damage on your sweep is 35 to 140%. So not only does that image impact for 40 to 160 damage, but then your next sweep deals 35 to 140%. It cannot crit, but 140% extra damage. That's basically doing 2.4 times as much damage. Fantastic. It really helps with his burst, and most importantly, gives him the ability to traverse terrain, to escape, to escape, and to close the gap. Now you can see here I've gotten both healer tokens, both health potions, because I really want to win my lane, stay alive, and try to get down this tower so that I can go across the map and provide that front line that I am, that I'm definitely going to be. The last ability that we get here is his ultimate. It is absolutely great ultimate to land, to make the plays with. It feels so good. It's called Earth Shatter. Feng Mao leaps into the air and slams his blade on the ground, dealing ability damage in a line in front of him. It's a line in front of him. It deals 260 to 440 damage and has a power scaling of 1. Meaning, again, if you put power on Feng Mao, his burst and his ability damage is actually fairly substantial. It really, really is. The mana cost, really nothing you gotta kind of pay attention to. The range is 800, so you can reach out a fair distance and touch somebody with it. Cooldown is actually quite low, 90 to 50 seconds, so you can definitely use it as a part of a burst on a target that you've kind of, you know, gotten out of position or stuff like that. Definitely something to consider. As you see me doing here, don't be afraid to get these white jungle camps when you can, because it is CXP and hero levels that you are desperately needing here in the offlane. Now that we have, you know, there's much more rotations going across the map, we trade one of our healer tokens for an Empyrean Mask and reward. You can see here, there is our ultimate for that burst down on the Grux that was really going to town here on our team. And we take out the Kwang as well. That's kind of what we were trying to do. Get in there, be the front line, and apply some good damage to the enemy. Now, the Empyrean Mask is a fantastic card that gives you 4 CP. For 4 CP cost, you spend, you get 4 CP of power, or you get 4 CP of armor, or you get 4 CP of health regen. Now it's, or mana regen. Fantastic versatility that already works well with Feng Mao's versatility. He has a shield for frontline, and he has some good burst for some good amount of damage as well. He's just a very versatile hero that can traverse terrain and do some crazy in and out business. He is very versatile, and this card only amplifies that. So you can activate it. You have to make sure to activate it to actually get to get what you want. So you can have it on some power. You can reaping dash into a good heavy duty basic attack, into a hamstring that animation cancels, into another basic attack, into your ult, all while you have damage on. Once you've done all that, you just hit it once to go to armor, and then you can use your shield and just be a good frontline presence for your team. Or you can just put it to mana regen if you don't need either when you're in lane or just roaming the map. Fantastic, fantastic card. Now, so far we have been a very elusive presence here in the enemy's safe lane. This has enabled my team to get the tier 2 in the right lane and the mid tower in the enemy's mid tier 1. Being very elusive with our reaping dash and our shield to just kind of keep their focus here. As you can see, we're trying to make the plays. I choose to dive the tower here to get this phase, and I'm just waiting for that perfect time to use my ultimate. Kaboom! There you go. You can see that with a shield and our Empyrean Mask selected on armor, we are a good front line. We were absorbing those hits very well, and I can trade blows here with this Kwang. Now, you can see, take a look at my cards here. We haven't gone for the Madstone Gem or the Thunder Cleaver. The Madstone Gem obviously gives you good damage and a little bit of attack speed, but the Thunder Cleaver is definitely more for if you are in the jungle, just to clear that out more. You can get it here in the offlane, but in this game, I just went for that Amulet of the Veteran, which is a 12-point card. It's a strange card to transition from, you know, a whole bunch of tokens and a 6-point ward, but that's all you need. Really, that's all you need. So here is this Amulet of Veteran with a ton of health to really keep us in the front line. Now, if you want proof of the elusive nature of Feng Mao, take no more than this almost 5-man gank here. Everything's thrown at me. Great use of my shield, which I've upgraded a ton. And I get out of there. Easy peasy. Empyrean Mass set to armor. Use my shield at the appropriate time when all of that crazy burst is coming in. We are doing a-okay. Obviously, upgrade your ultimate as much as you can. I personally, because I'm just trying to be the front line here for my team so much, I'm going for that shield a lot, followed by a nice balance between Hamstring and the Reaping Dash. Upgrading your Reaping Dash does a ton, but also that slow and the cooldown on your E is also very important. So at this point, we have gotten our Tempered Plate and fully upgraded our Elder Mage Amulet, and we have Purity Sensor for the enemy phase. We're bringing a different kind of support, frontline support, to our team. You can see me use my ultimate there to try to get down that Grux. Use that whoever that was, the Grim, down just to kind of get a pick, right? Fulfill that sort of bursty role that Feng Mao definitely can do. You see that I took down that Grux there with a nice basic attack into animation cancel. Hamstring, very, very effective. Now, as a showcase of our tankiness and elusive nature, the Grim and FaZe here tries to do their thing. The Kwang here even comes in, tries to do me. Look at that conversion shield, totally mitigating the Kwang ult. I kind of Reaping Dash out of that. My Yin comes by to help me there. It doing a-okay. I kind of choose to maybe re-engage here on this Kwang. Maybe the Yin wanted to do that, but I am just simply putting down the pressure and rotating when my team needs me. Now here is the final push of the match as we pretty decisively close out this match. Check out the frontline sustain I have, and I have Satori Cloak. What this does is it shreds the enemy 50% of the enemy's basic armor for a couple seconds, I do believe, when I actually hit somebody. For 2 seconds, 50% of the enemies here with basic armor is shredded, meaning all of my allies can benefit from that armor reduction. You can see I'm just going to town. I'm absorbing damage here from the inhibitor. I even get out of there with the help of my Yin. And I think our Yin there gets a pentakill. I'm not sure. Oh, the gadget took it. So it's just fantastic. You know, you can have a great burst potential with that little bit of damage that you get, a little bit of power rather from your ward, from the Empyrean Mask, for a little bit from the Elder Mage Amulet. It works really, really well. Reaping Dash into your Hamstring. All basic attacks or animation canceled in there into your ultimate. Then you just click on the Empyrean Mask to go and transition into armor. Let's take a look at what other cards I didn't get in this match. So we had just gotten our Satori Cloak, and we had the Thermobond left. Thermobond, all of that barrier, the health would have been tremendous. Very, very, very much a sustained presence, but you would get more damage if you went for the power cord instead of the purity sensor. The thinking there is that the purity sensor, if you don't have, you know, if there isn't an Aurora or a phase on the enemy team, well, taking out the Aurora effectiveness really helps with the burst, which means you don't really, in a way, need that health here on the purity sensor, so you can get away with a little bit more damage, since it's going to be a little bit more of a prolonged fight against a team with a phase here. She's going to help her team get a very, you know, sustained presence, healing up her teammates and stuff like that. Well, if you can eliminate those blinds, at least, you know, one of them, because the cooldown there is 120 seconds, hopefully that gives your team the you know, the ability to kind of just counter her, take her out of the situation, and just kind of get that advantage right away. So there you go. There is the build. Thermobond, Purity Sensor, or Power Cord. You pick one of those. Satori Cloak, Tempered Plate, this Guardian's Ward, and the Elder Mage Amulet. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys thought of this deck and guide. If there's anything I missed, any recommendations you have for Feng Mao, going very much for heavy frontline with some good utility with the Satori Cloak, Power Cord, or the Purity Sensor. Really, Feng Mao's in a great spot. Whenever I play him, he really feels good. He feels good. His versatility is very powerful. He can escape. He has his shield, but he has some good damage potential. Fantastic hero. It works really well. Let me know what you guys think. Please like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, share it with the community, guys, and of course, subscribe. If you guys like this content, especially if you guys found it useful, especially, please subscribe. Please, 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 because I would love to be able to do it for you in the future. Until next time, like always, guys, stay optimistic and positive.